want to clear something up for all the naysayers of the No Kings 3.0 rally that was just held this weekend. Protests do work. And the idea that they don't is just wrong. Not politically wrong, not morally wrong, empirically and scientifically wrong. Hi, I'm Nate Charles, and welcome back to the Rule of Law Brief. We're not guessing about this. Harvard researcher Erica Chenoweth analyzed hundreds of resistance movements over the last century, and her conclusion was straightforward. Nonviolent resistance movements are about twice as likely to succeed as violent resistance movements. And when they reach roughly 3.5% of the population, that is, when roughly 3.5% of the population actively participates in the nonviolent civil resistance movements, those movements have universally succeeded. At that point, you're not arguing opinion anymore. You're arguing against scientific data. Here's why. Nonviolent resistance scales. It brings in broad segments of society, people who would never engage in violence. And when participation in a movement scales, the pressure shifts to where the power actually lives, inside institutions. Police, military, and political elites. When those groups start to hesitate, fracture, or shift, that's when systems start to move. And this is the part that all the naysayers of No Kings seem to not understand. This isn't just academic theory. This isn't just activism. This is something that the U.S. military has studied, modeled, and built doctrine around. The U.S. Special Operations Command, under General Votel and Will Irwin, a person who I've had the pleasure and the honor of working with very closely as a defense strategist, have studied civil resistance, population-based movements, and influence campaigns as tools that can shape and even destabilize governments. Think about what that means. Nonviolent civil resistance works so reliably that the most sophisticated military organization in the world treats it as part of the operational environment. And it doesn't stop there. This overlaps directly with psychological operation, because at its core, nonviolent civil resistance is about perception, legitimacy, and influence. It's about shifting how populations think and how institutions respond to those shifts. That is exactly the kind of human terrain in which PSYOPs is key to operating. So when you see large-scale protests, you're not just looking at people in the streets, you're looking at population-level influence operations unfolding in real time. So what happened with No Kings 3.0? Well, let's talk about that in context. The United States has a population of about 341 million people. Recent estimates suggest that somewhere between 8 and 9 million people participated in No Kings 3.0. That's roughly 2.3 to 2.6% of the entire population. Rough estimate, 2.5%. Now remember the research. Erica Chenoweth found that around 3.5% participation, movements historically have never failed. So this isn't fringe, and it's not symbolic. The No Kings movement is approaching the threshold where movements have historically become structurally significant. And that's why you're seeing such a strong reaction to it. Because whether people realize it or not, this is what early stage systemic pressure looks like. You don't have to agree with the protests. You don't even have to like the No Kings movement. But if you are claiming that protests don't work, you're not even making a serious argument.